Live breaking news from your local news channel.
Good evening, I'm Scott Hennessy. We begin with breaking news. The Alisal Fire near Refugio growing in size. The fire was reported a little after 2 this afternoon near the Alisal Reservoir in the Solvang area. It spread rapidly southeast down the mountain toward the ocean. It now stands at an estimated 3,700 acres. Evacuation orders are in effect right now at Arroyo Hondo and Refugio Canyons. There's also an evacuation order between El Capitan State Beach Park and West Camino Cielo Road. At least 100 structures are threatened and one outbuilding has burned. News Channel reporter Scott Sheehan has been live along the fire lines all day. He joins us now live with the latest. Scott.
All right, so Scott, I've been talking all afternoon and evening with the Santa Barbara County Fire Department. Right now behind me, they're cutting a fire line and trying to also knock down some of these flames. I'll step out a little bit and go over what they're telling me about how they're trying to fight this. So their biggest obstacles are the wind. They're estimating that they would see gusts up to 70-mile-per-hour winds this evening, and then also the terrain. Lots of ridges and lots of areas that are just inaccessible, especially for the dozers. So what they're trying to do here on the western side, we're just right over Arroyo Hondo Bridge on the 101 facing the northbound side, and what they are working on is trying to cut lines on the western side up to the landfill so that when the morning comes, they at least have some ground to try to get an upper hand on this fire. So they haven't been able to use the air crews because of the wind. They're hoping that in the morning they'll have better visibility, and also the wind will die down enough for them to have their air units come in to try to fight it from above. But right now they are trying to hope that this fire goes towards the ocean, because that is a big fire break for them. Right now, as we've talked about, 3,700 acres is what they're estimating as far as burning, and they're expecting to be out here for days at this point because, again, the wind and the terrain and just how expansive that this is. Now, as far as property damage, you did mention the one outhouse, but there was also a semi-truck that was trying to drive through the 101 before it was fully closed, that because of the smoke, the Santa Barbara County Fire Department told us that the smoke was too much and the truck ended up going off the road and then caught on fire. So it was a combination of the smoke and the wind that got the truck to go off. We don't have any update as far as the driver of that truck, but it's just a lot of wind, a lot of smoke, a lot of flames, and these firefighters are out here really trying to find a way to get an upper hand on this fire so that when the morning comes, they can get, they try to have a better hand on trying to put this out. So as we get more, we'll keep updating you, but right now, that is how these firefighters are trying to get the upper hand to put this fire out. Reporting live along the Gaviota coast, I'm News Channel reporter Scott Sheehan.
Thanks, Scott. Right in the thick of things out there as they are trying to starve this fire of fuel. Hundreds of firefighters on the scene. Again, there are evacuation orders in effect tonight. The sheriff's office issued the evacuation order for the area of Arroyo Hondo Canyon and Refugio Canyon west of Goleta. There's also an evacuation order between El Capitan State Beach Park and West Camino Cielo Road. An evacuation center is set up at Dos Pueblos High School. About 100 properties, we're told, are in this area here, mostly larger ranch-type properties in this area here. Santa Barbara County Animal Services helping with animal evacuations. Livestock can be brought to the Earl Warren Showgrounds in Santa Barbara. If you need help evacuating your animals, call the number on your screen. It's 805-681-4332. Warning signs are up on the Highway 101 because of the Alisal Fire, talking about the closure that is ahead. This is from the Caltrans camera in Los Alamos. You can see it says southbound 101 closed ahead. Use 154. 154 is the detour for anyone heading between North and South Santa Barbara County right now. Again, there is a Highway 101 closure between the one on the northbound side to Winchester Canyon on the southbound side. Let's have Jim Shivers now joining us by phone. He is with Caltrans. Jim, a lot of people have been calling our newsroom tonight hoping to get some information on when the freeway might reopen. What can you tell us regarding the process of how that decision will be made?
Well, it starts with public safety. We'll work in concert with our partners with the CHP the emergency responder community, and we'll make that decision as to what is best in the interest of public safety. We know that the fire is still raging. The highway can have some visibility issues. We don't want to put the public on that roadway. And we also want to make sure that that stretch of 101 is accessible mainly to those responding to this incident.
The first responders are out there right now. You closed the freeway a little bit before 6 o'clock tonight, sending people up Highway 154. So that's the way you're recommending everyone go. It's really the only way to get between North and South County that's efficient here, isn't it?
Well, historically, 154 has been the outlet for any incident on Highway 101. I think a big dose of patience for anyone wishing to travel that stretch of highway while everyone battles the conditions near the 101.
Okay, that's Jim Shivers from Caltrans. Thank you very much. No expected reopening right now. You heard it there of Highway 101. We're just going to have to wait and see how conditions progress. Take a look at this massive smoke plume from the Alisal Fire visible from space. This video taken by ISS Above, which captures video from the International Space Station. Julia Espinoza has the latest weather conditions for us. We saw that video with Scott Sheehan on the scene. Very windy out there tonight.
Very windy for all areas. And right now, to give you perspective as far as where that fire is burning, it is just east of Gaviota. You can see, taking a look at our satellite and radar map, skies are completely clear. We are not being held by any form of marine layer clouds. However, you are seeing those conditions really impact this area just south of Solvang, as you are seeing this yellow-red circle where that fire is taking place at this time. As for the wind, you can see that direction really over those mountains and canyons of Santa Barbara and Ventura County. And precisely where that fire is burning, we are dealing with those wind gusts amounting up to 30 miles per hour in the last 30 minutes. As far as sustained wind, it's between 15 to 25 miles per hour. And as we focus in right now, telling you right now, at Highway 101, you can see 24 miles per hour. But again, we are seeing this wind gust moving on in right there into Gaviota, and it is amounting to about 33 miles per hour. And those type of wind gusts are going to continue to come and go as we go towards the overnight hours. Still under a wind advisory expected to remain for those mountain areas up until 3 a.m. Now, when we factor in our temperatures and that strong wind moving on in, you can see those strongest wind-prone areas are dealing with those very cooler temperatures. We're about 41 degrees right there in that area, and then closer to the coastline at about 55 to 57 degrees at this time. As mentioned, the advisory is still in effect for that area, and we're going to continue to see those strong winds follow us into tomorrow morning. So more details on this coming up shortly, but for now, Scott, sending it back to you.
All right, thank you, Julia. If you haven't already, download our News and First Alert weather apps to stay up to date on the high winds and get the latest updates on the Alisal Fire. Both are free to download on iPhone and Android devices. Back to our breaking news. Alisal Fire burning near Refugio. It started around 2 o'clock. It's already burned 3,700 acres. One outbuilding has burned. There are evacuation orders for Refugio and Arroyo Hondo Canyons. Also an evacuation order between El Capitan State Beach Park and West Camino Cielo Road. This fire burned down the mountain and all the way across the freeway towards the ocean. We'll continue to bring you updates throughout our newscast and more live pictures like this as these flames are spreading with high winds. You can also find more on our mobile app and website. Now to your vote. 6 people hoping to become the next mayor of Santa Barbara. Election day is November 2nd, and ballots are already in voters' mailboxes. News Channel reporter Scott Sheehan spoke with all the candidates and will highlight each of them in the coming days. Tonight, he talks with James Joyce III.
I've been a resident for the past decade, working for State Senator Hannah Beth Jackson here in the district, and founder of Coffee with the Black Guy, my business.
James Joyce III isn't a stranger to local politics after working with a former state senator. But now he's hoping to lead the city of Santa Barbara as mayor.
Santa Barbara is a world-class city. We've got a lot of great assets here, and we just need a little bit of leadership to kind of bring all of those elements together.
Joyce thinks the city needs to take a new approach when it comes to making improvements and tackling certain issues.
This homelessness is more in our face, and that issue is coupled, of course, with our housing crisis and the challenges that we have with the increased cost of housing.
In terms of responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, Joyce says he wishes there was better messaging from the city during the earlier stages, as well as more testing and vaccination sites closer to neighborhoods.
As we're coming out of COVID, we really have an opportunity to look forward into the next 5-10 years. And status quo thinking and status quo action is not going to be what's going to get us where we belong.
If elected, Joyce says he'll focus on uniting City Hall and the community after what he says were a divisive couple of years due to the pandemic, 2020 election, and recall election.
They're seeing that division here in our community, and people are sick of it. They really want to build community and get to know our neighbors more. And I think that that's something that is going to help us moving forward.
I'm News Channel reporter Scott Sheehan.
You can watch our full interview with James Joyce III and the 5 other candidates hoping to become mayor. It's all on our mobile app and website. We go back to Julia now in the First Alert Weather Center for the full forecast.
Hey there, Scott. And tonight we are going to be keeping our skies clear. We're still dealing with those windy conditions, northerly winds up and down the coast. We're going to be talking all about it. Of course, we are hoping for some improvement, which is expected as we go into tomorrow. But tonight, here's a look at your temperature right now. Santa Maria, we're at 51 degrees. We're at 58 for the city of Santa Barbara, 58 into Ventura, and then we're at 53 in San Luis Obispo. All areas have cooled down significantly, and if you are stepping out there tonight, a sweater is certainly recommended. In fact, starting off your day tomorrow morning, you may want to layer on, as we are going to be waking up to some very chilly temperatures, but especially for the interior of San Luis Obispo County. That's where temperatures could be dropping down as cold as 30 degrees as we go into tomorrow morning. It does lift at 9 a.m. and then we're going to see this activity repeat itself as we go towards our Tuesday night and into our Wednesday morning. So it's that time to now protect any sensitive vegetation or plants as we are going to be experiencing those cold nights and then very mild daytime highs. Now, as we go towards tomorrow morning, the area of low pressure that prompted all of that wind today is pushing out more easterly, and by then pressure gradients are going to be weakening. We do expect some relief when it comes to the wind going into tomorrow. Now, by midweek, we're experiencing more troughing over the Great Basin. We may be experiencing some cloud cover, but the bigger picture is that we're still going to be holding on to those offshore trends, and they do pick up as we go towards midweek, continuing into your Thursday and Friday. So this means all about the sunshine as we wrap things up. Temperatures are going to be warming up, but again, all eyes are on the wind as we are going to be seeing this activity really repeat itself every day. So here's a look at your futurecast winds. Going into tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Ventura County, at least for the coastline, you're looking pretty good, along with the central coast of out towards San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara County. But as far as southern Santa Barbara County, unfortunately, where that fire is burning just east of Gaviota, that wind is really not going to be weakening much. We're going to be still experiencing those double-digit conditions during those overnight hours. And in fact, once we go towards around 9 a.m., those winds are picking up once again for the central coast area. So we are going to be seeing those wind gusts potentially amount up to 45 miles per hour. By Tuesday, 6 p.m., winds are much lighter, and it is expected to remain sub-advisory by then. Maybe advisory over the mountains and the canyons, but we're going to continue to revise this type of activity going into tomorrow. And I guess that's the good news as we continue into tomorrow afternoon, as we start to see some improvement when it comes to those windy conditions. Now, your futurecast model is showing you clear skies all throughout your Tuesday. By Wednesday, just some mid to high level clouds, but it does diminish pretty quickly. So by our Thursday, we're back into the clear, and then we do experience warmer temperatures. Santa Barbara tomorrow, expected daytime high at 76 degrees. So overall, pretty comfortable once we make it towards midday. It's just those early morning hours that we're waking up to those chilly temperatures. But again, by the afternoon, it is comfortable. That's a look at your forecast. Your news continues after this.
More on the Alisal Fire burning near Refugio. You see a live look here. Perhaps that freeway sign is familiar to you on Highway 101. It's burned 3,700 acres since it started about 9 hours ago. One outbuilding has burned. There are mandatory evacuation orders for Refugio and Arroyo Hondo canyons. There's also an evacuation order between El Capitan State Beach Park and West Camino Cielo Road. Highway 101 remains closed. There is no expected reopening date for that highway, but again, you see these flames are all around the highway. First responders are out there too. You'll find more on our mobile app and website as well. Let's get one last check on the weather with that wind still blowing out there, Julia.
Yeah, and tonight, north to northwest winds will continue to bring us those very gusty conditions, amounting up to 50 miles per hour, especially out towards those canyons and mountains. But right where the fire is burning, just east of Gaviota, wind gusts could be moving on in up to 30 miles per hour, continuing into tomorrow morning. Scott, sending it back to you. Thank
you, Julia. Again, follow us online for all the updates, and the morning news will be back tomorrow at 5 with more live reporting. We'll stay on it overnight. Thanks for being with us. Be well. Good night.